Was that a game plan that very nearly worked, Wayne?
Oh, look, I think very nearly, unfortunately, but yeah, a frustrating one because I think the boys put in such a lot of hard work in both halves that we felt we'd done enough to win the game, but it wasn't to be. But certainly, a massive step in the right direction.
How did you feel about that one chance in the second half that went begging? Was it just one of those things that happened, or one that should have been finished?
Well, it was a very tight test match, wasn't it? It came down to one score in the end, and they had one opportunity and got it, and we couldn't quite finish off. So, look, we worked very, very hard to try to get across the line. There was no lack of effort, as I said. So, at the moment, it's just one of those frustrating ones. But certainly, what the boys worked on over the last 2 weeks was pretty much, apart from winning the game, we did pretty much what we wanted to do out there to get the result.
Dan, how do you feel about the fact that you got so close to the championship favourites? Was it frustrating then not to come away the win?
Frustrated, annoyed, disappointed, all those things, Nick, to be honest. But just really disappointing this evening. I think we said in the huddle after the game we were probably a little bit fortunate, and we could have probably nicked the game in Twickenham a couple of weeks ago, coming back after not starting well. But I thought tonight we were the better team, but probably the best team in the world at the moment, under huge amount of pressure for long time periods. And like Wayne said, big test matches like that hinge on probably one or two moments, and we didn't quite nail ours, and France probably took theirs. So it's just frustrated, disappointed, and we've got to make sure that we come here next Saturday and do a real job on Italy and finish the campaign on a high.
And finally from me, Wayne, thoughts on selection for next week at this early stage? Do you give other players a chance against the tournament's bottom side, or do you stick to what you think is the strongest available starting side?
Yeah, well, firstly, we'll have a good look at how the boys have come through this one, because it was a very physical test match, obviously. There's a few sore boys in the changing room, so we'll see how we scrub up. It's been a big 7 weeks, so we'll wait and see how the bodies are, but certainly we'll be looking at everyone in the squad and seeing who's fresh and available before naming that team, obviously, on probably Tuesday.
Thank you. I'll pass you back, Beth.
Thank you.
Hi guys, Wayne, first to you. Obviously everyone's been talking about this French team. How do you feel about making them at times look quite ordinary?
Well, I'm not sure if they were that ordinary. I think we had some very, very positive play, and I think we did a lot of things very well against, as everyone is rightly pointed out, probably one of the form teams, if not the form team in the world. So, look, it was across the board really. Set piece line out in the first half, we put them under a lot of pressure. We had some very good defensive sets. We did a lot of good things with the ball, built a lot of phases. But yeah, it comes down to one or two decisions at the end of the day, as Dan said. So, frustrating, but certainly a big effort.
Dan, I know you've spoken to Nick and previously to BBC about big moments and things, but given that performance against Ireland in that first round to where you are now, you must be pleased with the way that this team's kind of come out and proven quite a lot of people wrong.
Yeah, well, we're not particularly bothered about what other people say, Beth, if we're being brutally honest. But I think what when you've played well and when you've played poorly, and we played very poorly in the opening weekend in Dublin, and we've certainly got better as the tournament's got on, and we're we're one score away from beating France today and one score away from beating England last week. So we've definitely got better as the tournament's gone on. We're really, but I'm disappointed and annoyed really is the bottom line that we haven't picked up 2 wins, or certainly one of the last 2 games we should have won, and that's annoying and frustrating. But there's no doubt that we're in a much better place to when we kicked off against Ireland in Dublin.
Just last one from me. Sorry, someone completely went off then. Defensively, that was so much better in the game compared to the previous games. Do you feel like maybe the attacking area is lacking a little bit of flair?
I think it's such a big moment, isn't it? If we score and win the game 14-13, this question probably doesn't get answered, does it, or asked? So it all depends on big moments. We had enough opportunities, I thought, in that game to get the job done. We're attacking against pretty good defensive side and a pretty good defensive coach as well on the opposite side, mind. So I think there's no doubt that there was moments which we could have done a little bit better on, and we probably, we need to develop our finishing a little bit better. But I thought we saw real attacking intent in the way we played up in Twickenham, and tonight was an arm wrestle, a bit of a slugfest, and if you come out on the right side of it, it's really pleasing and positive. If you don't, then it's disappointing, and you look at areas where we could have done better.
So well played tonight, and good luck for next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, coming to Alex.
Hi Wayne, Thomas Williams took a pretty nasty bump. Presumably he's concussion in a HIA protocol job.
Yes, definitely. So he was an automatic replacement.
Yeah, just to confirm that it was an immediate permanent removal, it wasn't a HIA. Somebody's not on mute, so can you please make sure you're all on mute when you're not asking a question? Thank you, it just interferes with everybody else otherwise. Alex, do you have another one?
Just one more from me, if that's all right, Verity. Wayne, is Alan Wynne-Jones, any potentially available for next week? How's he coming along, and how's he spent this week?
Yeah, he'll be officially added to the squad this weekend.
With that in mind, then that's obviously a big boost. How's his recovery been going on? He's done it again, I guess.
Oh, look, he's worked very, very hard as Al does, and he's been training with the team, helping prepare the side for this week's game, and he'll be available for selection.
Just lastly from me on that, and I guess you're never surprised about him, and no one is anymore. But just a word on him. That sort of recovery again is pretty impressive.
It certainly is. Yeah, no, he's worked very, very hard.
Thank you.
Okay, and then James.
Hi Wayne, a couple of things you picked out there were the breakdown control and the line-out pressure. You got a little bit of criticism in the week in selection for the two flankers you picked, yet they did an incredible job with Will Rowland in closing Cameron Wokey out of the game. Was that a real focus of you to take away the French line-out platform, which is one of their biggest attacking weapons?
Yeah, look, John Humphreys has been working with the boys during the last 2 weeks in terms of what we do from a defensive point of view. Will Rowlands runs that side of our line-out, and I thought they did very, very well. I think Seb Davis did well, starting at 6 in a big test match. And obviously Josh Navidi, he's done it again, hasn't he? Come back from a serious injury and gone just about the 80 minutes in a very physical test match. So, no, I thought the forwards did pretty well in the set piece area. And, in general, we came off some of those exchanges quite well.
Dan, from the breakdown perspective, both sides look to really ice the breakdown, throw as fewer players in as possible and keep as much width. Was that something you were really focusing on during the game, especially towards that end piece?
Yeah, well, again, we previewed France, and we know how aggressive France are, and we tried to limit as many. We tried to have as few rucks in our half as possible, because we knew how aggressive they were in coming hard at those rucks and picking up cheap points and cheap entries into the 22. So it's a real focus for us this week, and I thought we did a pretty good job on the whole. And conversely, France were, we went hard at their breakdown as well and got some good gains as well in terms of a counter ruck. So it was a really pleasing performance from that aspect, and something that's got to be the bar now in terms of where we set it, and we've got to make sure we build on that, not fall away from it.
Lasting emotion, frustration perhaps?
Yeah, massively. It's disappointing. It's hard to answer the questions in a different way, really, but it's very, very difficult when there's games which you feel you should have won and you've come off second best. So it's really pleasing the way we've played, and we've put a really good shift in today and pushed the best team in the world probably at the moment, to the edge, and probably should have picked a win up, but ultimately they've got the win, and we're the ones who are disappointed.
Cheers mate, thanks very much.
Cheers.
And we'll do final question from Gareth Griffiths.
Just one from me, Dad. Probably not something you're thinking about now, but next weekend it could be your 100th Wales cap, and against Italy in the way to finish the tournament. Possibly Alan wins 150th Wales cap. Just how do you want to finish that tournament, and what would that milestone mean to you? You've had some already in this tournament.
I said to the lads afterwards, I said it's so important that we come back in. We've got a couple of days off, now, but it's really important that we come back in next week, and we don't use the week as a cruise week or a week to just get through to the end of the tournament. We make sure that we come in, work our socks off, and I think we've got to go and do a job on Italy in terms of, not in any disrespectful way at all, we've got to make sure that we've got to concentrate on ourselves and put a really good performance out here on Saturday and finish with a win at home, because we've played some good, apart from probably the first 65, 70 minutes against Ireland, probably the full game against Ireland if we're honest, we've been right in the mix in games and played some really good stuff. So for us to finish off with a positive result and a performance next week will be huge, but it doesn't just happen when you arrive on a Saturday. We've got to make sure we work extremely hard in the week, and that's what I'll be pushing. And from a personal point of view, I suppose, it's something. I know I'm not going to sit here and say that it's not crossed my mind that potentially could be on the cards. So I'll buy the gaffer a few beers tonight and hopefully gets the job done in selection next week.